167 is the three-step process that we use to get a customer to price. Let me explain what I mean by 167. 1 stands for step number 1. In step number 1, when we ask our transition questions of how long have you been thinking about replacing your windows or replacing your roof, that's step number 1 within the 167. Step number 6 is our product presentation. That's where we find out what products they want and what problems they're going to solve. And 7 is the pre-close. That's when we get it down to price and ask our pre-close question. 167 is the bridge over the poo-poo, is what we call it. Poo-poo means that the customer gave you an objection that just wasn't real. They were afraid of price. This is our bridge over the poo-poo. Let me give you an example. If you ask a pre-close question, other than price or payment, would there be any reason we couldn't get your job started today? And the customer says no, just comes down to price. And then you give them a price. When you give them the price, they say, wow, I'm gonna have to think about it. Or whoa, I'm gonna have to get another estimate. Well, just a couple of minutes ago, they said that it just came down to price. Then once they saw the price, all of a sudden, an objection came up. We call that poo-poo. We don't want to address the poo-poo. We want to make a bridge over it. And 167 is our bridge over the poo-poo. So here's how it would go. Step number 1. Well, Mr. Jones, I know when I was here earlier, you told me you had been thinking about this for about 3 months. That's step number 1. Step number 2 of the 167 is the 6. That's where we remind the customer of exactly what they said during our product presentation. An example of that would be that they picked out a cream color siding. So it would go something like this. And then I showed you the product. You absolutely loved it. You picked out the cream color. What we're doing is reminding them that they did like the product and they did pick it out without trying to back them into a corner like a lot of sales systems do. Step number 3 of the 167 is the 7. That's the pre-close. An example would be, and just a few minutes ago, Mr. Jones, you told me other than price or payment, there wouldn't be any reason we couldn't get your job started today. And then I showed you the price. And I could tell something set you back a little bit. Which one set you back the most? Was it the price or was it the payment that set you back the most? And wait for an answer. If you do the 1, the 6, and the 7, as soon as they answer that question, we are now talking about price again. And we have made a bridge over the poo-poo. Let me do it all the way again. So a customer, you ask a customer, other than price or payment, would there be any reason we couldn't get your job started today? And they say, no, I can't think of any. It just depends on how much it costs. Then you show them the price. And they say, we're going to have to think about it. That's when you'll do 167. Here's how it would go. Mr. Jones, earlier when I got here, you told me you had been thinking about this for about 6 months. Then I showed you the product. You absolutely loved it. You picked out that cream color siding. It's going to be beautiful. And then just a couple minutes ago, I asked you, other than price or payment, would there be any reason we couldn't get your job started today? And you said, no, just depends on how much it is. And then I showed you the price. And I could tell something set you back a little bit. Let me ask you, was it the price or was it the payment that set you back the most? And as soon as they answer that question, we're now talking about price. And we've made our bridge over the poo-poo. What we don't want to do is address their objection. For example, other than price or payment, would there be any reason we couldn't get your job started today? And the customer says, no, I can't think of any. And then we give them a price. And the customer says, hey, I'm gonna have to get a couple more estimates on this. What we do not wanna do is say, well, who do you wanna get an estimate from? Or, I mean, you see all the things that we've done. I mean, why do you need to get another estimate? If you address their objection, then you're stepping in the poo-poo. If you step in the poo-poo, you will never, ever win the game. What we're looking to do is to convert the conversation. We call this UAC. Understand, alter, convert. We'll talk about this in another lesson. Let's get back to the 167. 167 is a beautiful way to alter the conversation. Number 1 allows us to address it and understand it. Number 6 allows us to start to alter it. And then number 7 converts it to price. The 167 is what we use to understand, alter, and convert objection.